Mexico statistically is more dangerous than the late 1980s from the university studies we've read. In fact, get that professor on that wrote that book about the narco terror state we had on last year. Remember that? About how Mexico was fully a failed state and collapsing. He had those statistics. Mexico, and the State Department admits this, is more dangerous than Peru was in the 1980s when the Shining Path killed tens of thousands of people and was kidnapping people en masse. And our media told Americans, do not go to Peru. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like when one of the Rockefeller sons was told, don't go to New Guinea and visit with these tribes. They kill about half the Westerners that go there and literally boil them in a pot and eat them. And that's what happened to him. But they won't tell you about Mexico. No, no, sir. No, sir. You're not allowed to talk about a third world country completely collapsing. And let's go back to 5 years ago. What did Sully Castillo, the most high-level DEA agent in Latin America at the time, what did he say? He said Los Zetas is in South Texas being trained by the CIA, and they're training other Mexican drug cartels, and they're about to launch a giant drug war and collapse Mexico into the United States for the North American Union. And Sully had been approached by Los Zetas to join them. And when he wouldn't join them, the ATF came to his house and arrested him for illegal shotguns and rifles. And he is now in prison railroaded because he went public and exposed that. He told you 5 years ago, in 2005, 2.5 years before all this started, what exactly was going to happen. We ought to pull up those old interviews and re-air them. He told you exactly what was going to happen. And now you see it, and it's an organized crisis. It's high treason. Oh, they got plenty of cops in Tucson to pull old ladies over and give them tickets. They got plenty of cops because Americans are domesticated and are gelded, that means castrated, are cowards on average. And they will put up with any amount of abuse. We're domesticated, we're fat and happy because our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents were the smartest and the hardest fighting and the most inventive. I mean, people came from China and Japan and France and wrote about the American people and how we were the toughest, the smartest, the best, the meanest. And now, because we got fat and happy off of our ancestors, we are the most pathetic, degenerate, weak people in the world. And that's why we're being gang raped and run over and laughed at because we put up with anything. There's nothing we won't put up with. There's nothing we won't bend over for. There's nothing. And you got to get your American spirit back. You're a spirit of liberty. You got to get that fired up in your gut right now because the entire Southwest is in flames right now, and it's only going to get worse. Do you understand that? What does the SPP documents the Judicial Watch sued in 2007 from the Banff, Canada meeting say? With the heads of the Fortune 100 and the head of the U.S. State Department, Mexican and Canadian State Departments there, taking orders from the Fortune 100 in the meetings, thousands of pages Judicial Watch got. We cover it in Endgame. They said we're going to use border crises to bring in the North American Union. We're going to use flu to bring in the North American Union. And we're going to use financial collapse and carbon tax to bring in the North American Union. That is word for word. You realize the magnitude of what we're talking about? They are breaking America up just like they broke China up. Are you going to put up with this? You heard that sheriff saying, we are desperate. We need help. We are under attack. We are outnumbered 100 to 1. We are being shot at. We are being killed. Meanwhile, I've got another clip of militia groups are going down there with their M16s running around saying they're going to confront the illegals. And the media is going to demonize them. This is insane. You can really see what's about to happen. Let's go ahead and go to this next clip. Pinal County Sheriff asked Obama for troops. This is ABC 15 locally. They're begging for troops, begging in a Mayday situation. 3 counties deep in Arizona. They've got a map of where the feds have put up signs off major highways, national parks. There's 2 national parks, Pipe, Oregon, and one other, and they're just saying, don't even go into these. You know what? I may not go to the Gulf, folks. I may go to Arizona. Everybody's saying, go to the Gulf. Show us dead dolphins. Show us dead turtles. Everybody knows about that. Everybody knows that BP's going around kicking people off the beach. I mean, what? Yeah, that might get 1 million YouTube views. having BP tell me get off the beach and me arguing with them and what, getting handcuffs slapped on me. How many times have you seen that? I mean, is that what you want to see? No, I think I may have to go to these areas that are shut down. I think that may be where I'm going next. I think I'm going into the bush. I'm not going to go run around and look at dead dolphins, folks. I don't know. It makes me so sick. Let's go ahead and play this next clip. Here it is, America. Here it is. We're all over the world in Afghanistan for the opium and Iraq for the oil and the weapons and all the rest of them. We're about to attack Iran and our aircraft carriers are over there. Same propaganda they use in Iraq, but we can't defend America. And our newspapers can't even call these people illegal aliens. The criminal mobs of Latin America pouring in. Oh, you murder somebody in Venezuela? You murder somebody in Panama? You murder somebody in Mexico? Oh, you killed your wife. Oh, you got caught swindling somebody. Hey, just come to America. Change your name, and there's no extraditions going on. Mexico won't extradite people up here. Vice versa, so just knock yourselves out. But I, as a citizen, am looked at like a T-bone steak by the police. My family is the potatoes. I'm seen as a meal, as a snack, because I'm known as the right whale. You've heard my analogy of why the right whales were down to just a few hundred, they estimate, by the 1940s. There were once tens of thousands of them over the entire ocean blue. But right whales are sweet. They'll come up and bump your boat. They come over and nuzzle divers. Sperm whale will attack you. A killer whale occasionally will attack, but they're all still pretty friendly, unless you're their prey. Giant squid to the sperm whale. Seals or sharks to the killer whale. King of the sea, they eat blue whales. Amazing video. Have you ever seen that stuff online of a pack of killer whales killing a blue whale and its calf, drowning them, pushing them under? Drowned. My mother says, stop saying drowned. I don't say drowned, I say drowned. Drowning. The point is that right whales aren't like that. No, right whales are sweet and friendly and nice, and they swim up to the whale boats to be killed. And that's us. We're just the right whale. We're known the world over as the ultimate dunces. And our yuppies laugh and giggle at threats and laugh and giggle at corruption. I've seen the spirit. It's a spirit of wanton destruction, a spirit of wanting to go into bondage. And just like the prophets of old told Israel, when Israel became corrupt and decadent over and over again, you're going to go into bondage, you're going to go into bondage, you're decadent, you're worldly, you're going to go into bondage. And they went into bondage. It's the same thing. You ever seen Pinocchio? It's great to show your children. I think it's the one Disney film that really does have a good message. Pinocchio. How does he become a real boy when he finally has courage and puts himself on the line for others? But first he has to go through tribulations. Pinocchio gets taken to Pleasure Island. He gets picked up by young street hooligans when he's skipping school and goes to Pleasure Island and drinks and smokes and parties and brags and gets to engage in vandalism. And then that spiritually weakens him so he can be turned into a jackass to be a slave pulling coal wagons. And, of course, before that, he gets enslaved another time. Following the hooligans, he gets he goes into the gypsy camp and gets picked up by Stromboli and used as a slave, a carnival act. Stromboli acted like his friend, though. See, and how many times when you were young did you get conned and manipulated by bad people, and now you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you can look back and say, man, I wish I knew then what I know now. I wish I had the wisdom. And as an adult, you try to give your children that wisdom, but they're programmed not to listen. They've got to experience it. There's different ways to learn. You can learn by experience, but the best way to learn is from others' mistakes. The best way to learn is being able to see what others have gone through. And we know, those that know history can control the future. Those that don't know history and the past are doomed to repeat it. All right, let's go ahead and play this clip. As America goes into bondage, as the borders are artificially imploded, a stage crisis.
Pinal County Sheriff asking President Obama to send troops. Sheriff Paul Babius says Mexican drug cartels now control parts of Arizona all the way up to Metro Phoenix. ABC 15's Mariela Resendez has his plea.
A 911 distress call from two men shot in what investigators say is part of an ongoing battle between Mexican drug cartels and what is now known as the smuggling corridor.
Drug cartels control this area, and this is unacceptable. And local law enforcement cannot handle and stop this on our own.
Pinal County Sheriff Paul Babu says drug violence is far past the border, spilling into the communities. Hiking areas now have warning signs posted where military armed drug cartels are frequently photographed making drug deliveries to vehicles on Highway 8.
We are outgunned, we are outmanned, and we don't have the resources here locally for us to fight this.
5 weeks ago, a Pinal County deputy was ambushed and shot as he tracked 6 drug smuggling suspects. Several times, the caller told operators to look for him where the sheriff had been shot. Some of the information he gave had not been released.